Also South Texas, from Vidor. 41-year-old David and 34-year-old Ed, whom you're looking now. Third television appearance. Second here in '96. Oh, 10-pin.
Kind of a tentative shot for Ed on his first shot here in front of national television and the sellout crowd here at Warrior Coliseum. Changes ball, cross lane. Just get by that first frame, Ed, with a spare. You'll be all right.
Arena bowling in Texas. Format a little different with qualifying rounds at the usual site, the Forum Lanes, Jeannie Halsey's Emporium.
Well, and they've had a couple of days off, Chris, Thursday and Friday. We'll see how it affects some of the players.
One thing we know, they had a good time. So with the two-pin looking so lonely down there, David Ozio shouldn't have any trouble covering it.
No problem. Ozio, the most experienced of all the players here today. In fact, his lifetime earnings are only $12,000 shy of all the other four finalists put together. He's closing in on $1,150,000.
He's 11th on that list. Bob Spaulding won the Quaker State 250 last year. This year he finished 174th. Walter Ray Williams, who won last week, finished 36th. Ah, yes. The Warrior Scout.
Well, that's something we can look for in these arena settings. The lanes are set to the maximum tolerance, so the pins bounce around. And here you see the 4-pin comes shooting off the sideboard, taking out the 10. Unusual pin action, a strike for Ozio.
Big and strong at 6'1", 205 pounds. He has won 7 regional titles. He was 6th in the Columbia 300 this year. And he's starting to make a buck or two. Thus far, 20,658. Beautifully done on these 4 portable Brunswick lanes, Nelson.
He just blisters the rack, Chris. 3 pound, 6 ounce pins in an ideal setting, and Richardson tears them apart. Let's see if David Ozio can answer with a strike and even up the match.
All even in the first. The 50 young cheerleaders along both sides of this Coliseum. They're youngsters, attractive and so enthusiastic. And we have a jazz band here as well.
It'll be fun. Ozio going for 3 in a row and a 10-pin lead, 4th frame.
Again, taking out that 10-pin. He's fired up. So it's a 10-pin difference with Ozio in the lead. Looks like the crowd here is enjoying every minute. But we are really in Grand Prairie, Texas. Here's a peek on a sunny day in Texas, Grand Prairie, about midway between Fort Worth and the Big D. As we look at our jazz band, their directors Clyde Jones and Dr. Bill Collins. Ah, yes. Good old jazz.
That's some of your favorite, Chris.
Oh, I love it.
For Ed Richardson, it's not his favorite right now. He's ready to make his shot, takes his time. Everybody settles down. Richardson up in the 4th frame. If he strikes here, the match will be all even. Former Bowler of the Year, David Ozio.
He too has put together 3 powerful strikes on the championship pair of these portable lanes, we'll call them. The next time you'll see them will be in Erie, Pennsylvania. during our telecast.
Always high scoring. And I'm going to give you a little update after he throws a shot here of the difference in the scoring in the arena settings and our original all-time averages for regular bowling lane settings.
All right.
Chris, as we watch Ozio come up, it's simply that the players have averaged almost 240 in the arena settings, 239 and 209 over the years. So they increased their average about 30 pins indoors.
Oh, yes. They just won't get away from each other. Sticking like glue. Next Saturday, ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour sails to sunny Florida for the Comfort Inns and Suites Classic. That's our next stop in 1 week at 3, 2 Central and Pacific here on ABC. 5 seniors, 5 touring pros. We'll go at it in a very unique format. You'll enjoy it because they will roll off to determine the spots earlier in the day, and then we come on the air. And the older ones and the younger ones go at it. Stroke for stroke here at the Coliseum. Type of setting where the pros, both of them, are really in the spotlight, raised up from the crowd. But it doesn't affect them. Nelson, what composure, boys.
You're right, Chris, but I got to give Ed Richardson some credit. He's got a St. Louis connection. His dad used to be a pin boy in St. Louis, and that's kind of how he got started. He moved to Texas, and he said his mother really had the most influence on him getting started, but a St. Louis transposed to Texas. My family, the opposite. That Texas to St. Louis. So nice replacement, Ed. However, you better keep striking. Ozio's tough.
Sliding by, and then, oh my goodness, the 210. So here we'll see what his conversion skills are.
Loses the ball a little bit at the bottom of the swing. It doesn't bite in the hook area. Leaves the 210 split. The odds that the players have made the splits today is very simple. He's got to get the ball over to the left of the 2-pin and slide it over into the 10.
All out. Hitting the 210 open frame. So it's a 16-pin lead now by David Ozio here at the Warrior Coliseum in Grand Prairie, Texas. This beautiful ballpark is in Arlington.
Championships presented by MasterCard tonight on Wide World.
It looks pretty, and listen to the Basin Street by the Grand Prairie High School Band. They're tremendous. In bowling, so is David Ozio, an 11-time champion. 1991 PBA Player of the Year. He leads by 16 as a result of an open frame by Ed Richardson. 5 in a row. That time he wasn't as fortunate. Leaving the 10-pin, and a great round of applause for stringing 5 by this crowd that's enjoying every minute. Cross line. Blew it. The 10-pin, Bo.
Well, Chris, usually when they miss a single pin spare, they lose the match. However, this match is pretty even with 2 players opening almost in the same frame. And with me is the Rocket, the mantelpiece. Jimmy Keith. Jimmy, you've been out for almost 6 months. Coming back, tell us the story.
There's been a return to sharing food after the pandemic with a lot of
Okay.
All right, Jimmy, good luck in the next match.
Thank you. Difficulties here at the Coliseum in Grand Prairie, Texas. But the world's best technical people in television will get it straightened out. They're here, too. Our teammates. Ed Richardson.
As soon as I can, we'll go back down to you again. You know, we'll say we have
Okay. That was a very, very important strike. Very, very important, because 3 pins separate these two pros, each with an open frame. And now with the strike here, Ed Richardson can take a 7-pin lead. And we're talking about the 9th foundation frame.
Oh, give me a count on the hand,
A lovely fiancé that Ed is very proud of. Technical problems corrected. Here's Bo.
Thank you, Chris. Jimmy, they didn't quite hear us, but you've been out 6 months. You're back sharper than ever. Tell us why you were out and what you expect today, pal.
Well, I went home. I haven't bowled good in the last 4 years since I won. I went home, started bowling some legs, bowled some tournaments, started getting my confidence back. And I used non-reactive this week. The reactive balls have really taken my confidence to where I couldn't find it. But I think I found it, and I'm ready to strike.
All right, he's one of the most exciting players on tour. He's in the next match. Chris, back to you.
David Ozio, his fortune is waning here now in the final stages of the first match in the Quaker State 250. He now will try to cover the 2-pin. He missed the 10-pin in the 7th frame. And it did come up. Him and Lisa and their 2 daughters sigh of relief.
Well, Ozio, with that miss in the 7th frame, Chris, statistics prove that you lose 75% of the time on the PBA Tour when you miss a single pin in a match. For Ozio, the best thing he can do is 237 as he glances up at the scoreboard if he strikes 3 times in the 10th. Ed Richardson, his opponent, is going at a 233 pace, cannot be shut out.
David, who thought Lisa and the daughters would come over to watch, but they're busy modeling, etc., etc. Ed Richardson's fiancée, Jeannie Lathrop, here watching the action.
Okay, Ozio trails by 7. A strike here. He takes a 3-pin lead over Richardson. However, Richardson has yet to bowl the 10th. Here we go.
Three 6-10 on the left lane.
Well, David did a little fishing, a little work yesterday in his 2 days off. The other players were practicing. It may show up right here because Richardson, all he needs is a good, solid mark in the 10th to go on to meet Jimmy Keith. Let's see what happens.
Oh. Sliding by that 3-pin. Covering the 6 and 8, and David Ozio is disgusted, to say the least. What a competitor, what a great champion. Final score of 226.
Richardson just needs a solid mark here in the 10th. A good count on the first ball and a spare. A strike, obviously, he's the winner. Here we go. He's never won a game in a championship round on television. He won't have a better opportunity. Not done yet. If he misses this spare, he loses by 5 pins. If he makes the spare, he needs just 4 to win the match on the next ball. But he must make this spare.
Here he goes.
Oh, he misses it. Unbelievable. Chris, he gives away the match.
It does.
Ozio is the winner, sitting on the bench.
He missed a 10 earlier, took the lead away from him, and it appeared that Richardson was just sailing along.
Chris, he misses the 10. He's registering a complaint with the tournament director, Johnny Campos. He said he was interfered with, and the rule for the PBA is simply this. They cannot give him interference if the interference is not in front of the foul line. And if it's not going to be ruled, Ozio wins the match.
He wins it by 5 pins. Only 5 pins. In one of the most unusual matches I've